The film opens in a rogue doctor's lab somewhere in Seoul, where he's conducting weird experiments to bring his ill daughter back to life. He's raided by a SWAT team finally for killing hundreds of people in his experiments. But unfortunately, a very high-magnitude earthquake takes place, destroying the entire Seoul. Scenes then cut to a few years later, where the ruined city of Seoul has turned into a wasteland. We see a young boy named Jiwon hunting a crocodile for its fresh meat since the people are suffering from famine after the earthquake. The crocodile attacks Jiwon, so he gets scared and hides inside a rusty car, but the crocodile manages to break the window and lure his mouth inside to eat Jiwon. Miraculously, his partner, Nam-san, comes to his rescue. He pushes the giant crocodile by his tail, using his bare strength, and then uses a giant machete to behead the crocodile. The scenes then shift to a young girl named Suna, who lives with her grandmother. We see a proper view of their small town, where everyone filters dirty water to quench their thirst who are suffering from a drought. Jiwon gathers people to buy fresh crocodile meat with goods as a medium of exchange. After some buyers, Suna shows up with her grandmother to buy some meat. The grandmother gives a wool sweater in exchange for meat, and Suna gives Nam-san a sketch of him hunting a deer. Both items are considered valuable by Nam-san, so he gives them a big chunk of meat. As they move out of the line, a noisy group of freaks shows up in a car with police sirens and starts to bother people. When they get their hands on Suna, Jiwon gets provoked and starts fighting them. They outnumber him, so Nam-san takes part in the fight and scares the thugs away. Later that day, Nam-san and Jiwon spot a group of uniformed men outside Suna's house. There, a woman introduces herself as a teacher, who claims to be offering Suna and her grandmother a secure place in their building, where they have clean water. She explains that she is gathering families with young members in order to keep them safe and repopulate the world. They educate the youngsters, provide jobs to the adults, and look after the old ones. Nam-san wishes them well and bids them farewell. That night, Nam-san and Jiwon decide to go hunting at night. Meanwhile, Suna and her grandmother are seen walking through a giant crop field along with other families that the teacher and her men have gathered. Nam-san and Jiwon stop somewhere near. Suna's grandmother and another old man become tired, so the teacher sends them away with her men, assuring Suna that they're being taken to their nearby medical station. Their real side is revealed when Nam-san and Jiwon witness the men pushing off the old man from a cliff and killing the grandmother. They begin fighting those guys, during which they note that those men can't be killed. Much to their savior, a girl named Lee shows up and beheads those evil men in order to kill them permanently. Jiwon senses Suna is in trouble and wants to save her, but Nam-san decides to bury the grandmother first, during which Jiwon breaks into tears. The next morning, we see Suna and other youngsters being taken away in military vehicles. Meanwhile, Nam-san and Jiwon ask Lee multiple questions about the men. Hence, she introduces herself as an Air Force sergeant. We begin seeing a flashback of her story, in which Lee and her unit are patrolling the area in their helicopter to find survivors. They come across an apartment building, which seems to be the only one standing tall. They end up joining the survivors there and helping them rebuild the apartments. One day, a doctor shows up to be a part of their community. He turns out to be young Ji-Soo, the madman. Since the people need someone with his expertise, they let him join their community, but children start disappearing after his arrival. Ki demands an explanation for disappearances, but her seniors prevent her from harming Yang and demonstrate what Yang has done for them by shooting one officer who doesn't die. Dr. Yang also further tells Lee about his invented serum, which makes people immortal. Unfortunately, the serum requires the lives of the young ones, hearing which Lee spirals out of control and tries to hit Dr. Yang, but her own unit shoots at her, forcing her to run away from there. In the present, Lee asks Nam-san to help stop Dr. Yang's madness and rescue the victims. On the opposite, Suna and the others are brought into the gated community, where Suna is amazed to see them growing a vegetable garden. Now, heavily influenced by Dr. Yang, the people offer the kids clean water, but Suna saves hers for later. Suna is given her own separate apartment, which makes her happier than ever. Meanwhile, Lee sits with Nam-san and Jiwon to plan their mission since the security is very tight there. The trio heads to take help from the local thugs, who are already split into two gangs, fighting simultaneously. They end up attacking Nam-san and his team, so they fight back. Back on Suna's side, all the families are gathered in the compound area, where Dr. Yang announces children's grades. The new families are confused about the concept of grading, So an older member explains that children with top grades allow their parents access to the nicest apartment in the building, free food, and exemption from work. The teacher leads Suna and other children to the 8th floor. They get bummed to find out they're being separated, but the teacher assures she will help arrange their visits whenever needed. While the parents are tossed to work in the water filtering plant room, Namsan interrogates the lined-up thugs about where they got bottles of clean water and weapons from. The thug's boss reveals that the apartment has purposefully created a monopoly over water, so in order to get the privilege of clean water, he supplies them young children. Up next, we see Dr. Yang's office, where a sergeant is seen eating rats, which is probably a side effect of the immortality serum. Later, the teacher conducts her class, where Suna and another new girl are introduced to the rest of the class. Suna raises questions about Dr. Yang not being kind enough to share the water with the people who were dying outside. So the teacher lies about the outer world having Yang's daughter killed to validate why Yang doesn't have mercy on others. Soon, Yang makes an appearance in the class to further brainwash the kids. Suna bluntly asks the teacher and Yang to be united with her grandmother, but they lie about her grandmother being unwell and being especially treated by Yang, due to which Suna can't see her for now. Subsequently, we see weird side effects showing up on the sergeant. He gets tired of taking injections and bringing new kids every day, so he threatens Yang to find a permanent solution. The following night, Suna sneaks out of her room, while a concerned couple wishes to see their daughter, Ji. We also see Namsan and his team approaching the building. Now, Yang is forced to meet the concerned parents to sustain peace in the building. While he assures their daughter is fine, Suna sneaks into his lab and finds Ji being experimented on. When Yang and the parents walk in there, Suna hides behind a cabinet and watches them. The parents become more concerned to see their daughter in such a state, but Yang reveals everything he's doing, claiming he's doing it for a better cause. He also reveals his daughter, who's nothing more than a face and a beating heart, whom he's keeping alive by injecting the serum prepared from extracting a liquid from young kids. All of a sudden, Juyi's mouth starts foaming up and she dies. While the parents become mad, Yang blames them for everything and kills them with a scalpel, seeing which Suna becomes terrified. The doctor eventually spots her and catches her to conduct the next experiment on her. The next morning, Namsan and his team collaborate with the thug's boss, who provides them a vehicle and weapons. They run over the soldiers near the building and run their vehicle straight into the building, where Lee and Jiwon open fire at the security. The teacher informs Yang about the chaos in time. The trio succeeds in getting inside. They head towards rescuing Lee's subordinates from the prison in the basement. Unfortunately, her subordinates turn out to be Yang's failed experiments, who've now turned into reptiles. They attack the trio, so they end up shooting them all. Yang gets his security to guard the kids in the classroom and tries to talk to Namsan through the intercom, but he breaks it and makes his way out. Unfortunately, a group of guards are outside the basement door with grenades. Namsan shoots from inside the door, which explodes the grenades and kills all the guards. There, Namsan sends Lee and Juwon to rescue Suna and decides to stay behind to take down more guards. Namsan kills all the guards using his machete and reaches the workers, whom he asks about Suna. Meanwhile, Lee encounters her senior sergeant and engages in combat. Jiwon also starts searching apartments to find Suna. We see Namsan struggling to take the stairs, while the sergeant turns into a reptile in front of Lee and beats her to pulp, after which he throws her off the balcony. Jiwon finally finds the classroom, where he shoots the guard and takes the teacher under his gunpoint to lead him to the lab, where Suna is being experimented on. Outside, he comes against the angry sergeant, but Namsan shows just on time. He lets Jiwon get away and stays behind to fight the reptilian sergeant. Meanwhile, Yang injects himself with the serum and starts transforming into an abomination. Jiwon shows up there, but a female soldier ambushes him from behind, allowing Yang and the teacher to prepare to flee. While the teacher helps Yang put her remaining daughter in a suitcase, Namsan bravely fights the sergeant. He severs his head to kill him and catches Yang leaving his lab. He shoots the teacher, who runs back inside with Yang, leaving the female soldier out to fight Namsan. The teacher asks Yang for the serum, but he ends up throwing a grenade at her. Lee wakes up hearing the sound of the explosion and runs back inside. Yang is seen escaping with his daughter, while Namsan goes into the lab that's been caught on fire to rescue Juwon and Suna. Yang is caught by the angry parents outside. Lee unites with Namsan and his team. She stays behind with them, while Namsan goes to capture Yang, whose allergies start showing up after getting beaten up by the parents. He ends up shooting them all, during which his daughter gets shot in the suitcase and dies. Namsen covers for his team and lets them walk outside, but Yang loses his temper and engages in scolding them for ruining his life, allowing Namsan to shoot him from behind. That day, Namsan not only frees the community, but also pleases God enough to end the drought and pour down rain. The film ends with Namsan, Jiwon, and Sunal working together as butchers. Here, the film ends.